It's a Thursday evening in India, and ICSI is back with a webinar on education, educators, teachers, and mental wellness. ICSI, along with MEPSC, welcome everyone, those who have joined us live on YouTube channel to watch and to meet trainers of MEPSC, Sector Skill Council, Management and Entrepreneurship, and Professional Skill Council. And today we are going to talk, we are going to listen to the experiences, and we are going to gain much more into learning and from education, educators, mental wellness from Dr. Shipra, Dr. Ankur, and Mr. Parag. Before I welcome all three distinguished guests in front of all of you, let me just show you a few slides of ICSI, what we are doing, and what is our vision, mission, and future developments that we are having. So let's just begin. I use my first slide as what is the significance of the day, that is 5th of May. But when I was searching about it, I just found that during the COVID times, 5th May has been given as the World Hand Hygiene Awareness Day. So in this particular pandemic time, COVID time, just keep check of your hygiene, clean your hands, be safe, be sound, because we together have to fight this. And ICSI is very well connected with all the brothers and sisters of India across the globe, and together we are making education relevant. And we are very thankful to MEPSC and specifically Colonel Anil Kumar Pokhriyal sir, the CEO of MEPSC, whose vision, whose direction, whose help, whose guidance has given a platform to this particular webinar where we can meet all the trainers, we can meet the intellectual mind, the experienced people, and can get to know through their experiences what more can be done in this education and skill scenario across India and across the globe, because now we are one global family and everybody is connected to everyone through digital mode. And what is ICSI, International Chamber for Service Industry, as we are the link between all the NRIs across the globe. But along with that, ICSI is also focusing on service industry being the tertiary sector of economy. Still, this is one of the very, very important sector and eminent sector, and which can do wonders as far as services, delivery, skills, and opportunities are concerned. An ICSI action plan is this trio when we talk about education, because we think education is incomplete without skills and entrepreneurship, startups, and employment. Shiksha, Kaushalta, Udyamita. And together, this can contribute towards Atmanirbhar Bharat, and every one of us in this training, skills development, and education ecosystem can contribute towards this process, towards this mission, towards this vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat. And we are very proud to say that way back in 1994, ICSI has brought the first finishing school dedicated to skills development and various kind of skills, not just the hard skills, but soft skills and life skills. And it is continuing till date. And we have trained so much youth and teachers. And then happens pandemic. And from 25th March 2020 onwards, we started the webinar series under the broader umbrella of making education relevant. And this slide gives you the crux, what we have found out, concluded from our webinars. And these are the key issues like mental wellness, physical wellness, environmental wellness, peace of mind, technology. And the most important thing is that we all have to make harmony with nature. There's no substitute for nature. We are the children of Mother Earth, and we have to take care of our Mother Earth, our planet, and we have to be mentally robust as far as all the challenges, all the situations, all the circumstances are concerned. And we have to make education relevant to our day-to-day life. 2022, we have dedicated for teachers and youth empowerment. And as told that the trio about I have talked, and I believe that all the different components of service industry, when we say, and keeping education at the center. So the components like skills, research, technology, MSME, health and wellness can contribute towards Atmanirbhar Bharat and making India Vishwaguru. And then in the pandemic, it happens that one good thing that we have seen that our Honorable Prime Minister, the Education Ministry has given the National Education Policy, not just saying that new education policy, but national education policy. And this education, innovation, education, creativity, along with all the sector skill council, India has approximately 37 sector skill councils dedicated to different sectors, different fields, where even the students from 8th class, they can get their training, they can get the certificate, and they can get the employment also, and they can start their own startups. So this particular, that Education Ministry and Ministry of Skills Development and Entrepreneurship, they are doing wonderful work as far as making education, innovation, creativity, and preparing our global minds, global youth, global citizens, global teachers, global trainers, whatnot. So just be aware of all these things and get benefit of these, and you can change the dimensions of your life, your thinking, your living, and your skills. And as I told, during the pandemic, we have converted the finishing school into e-Gurukul Inspirational Lab, and still that training for skills development is continued in terms of digital mode. And what we are covering, because we think that education should be relevant, make it relevant, it should be interesting first of all. So all these things should be a part of education. And why not? Because it will make education stress-free, interesting, and wonderful to get into. And one of the thing is that we have not just technology, but nature and outdoor activity and fun, humor, happiness. We have to make part of all these things. We have to make everything of this part of education. And then education should be relevant to our day-to-day life. I'll not tell everything, but I can say what the thing is, that there is no price tag for mental wellness. Education should be that gives us relief, that gives us mental fitness, and that makes us happy and confident at the same time with skills. So we are proud that we have completed almost more than 1,551 webinar. In fact, more than that, we have completed 1,559 webinars, and today is our 1,560 webinar. And all thanks to your love, support of all our audience and our resource persons and our team. And all those webinars, they are not just limited to one particular theme. There is a flavor of webinars that we present to you from Monday to Sunday, and you can watch all those webinars on our YouTube channel. You can go to videos and you can check there, and you can watch them, and you can like, share, and subscribe our channel. With this, whatever your mind can conceive and believe it can achieve, do write to us, and our WhatsApp number is also given. And just remember that whatever you think, you believe, it is possible, and very much possible that you can achieve that. And with this, I always show you this slide because this is something very important. It's like when we read, what about learning? When we read, it is just 10%. When we hear, it is just 20%, and so on. So the important learning happens when we teach other, when we train other. So this profession is something which not only helps you to prepare the younger minds, but also helps us as a teacher, as a trainer, as a skills developer, to prepare ourselves also, to grow ourselves also as a trainer, as a teacher, as a human being. So always keep your mind open, always be a learner, a lifelong learner, and let us all come together and unite for education, skills, startups, and mental wellness. And with this, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome all three of our distinguished guest speaker from MEPSC, trainers, and distinguished persons in their own respect, in their own field, Dr. Shipra ji, Dr. Ankur ji, and Mr. Parag. So without wasting time, I'm just stopping share, and I welcome all my distinguished guests. Ma'am and sir, we welcome you. And it's a pleasure to have you here. To begin with, I want to ask Dr. Shipra ma'am to start, if you allow. And Shipra ma'am, we want to hear a brief introduction of yours and then a brief about your topic, and we will be glad to hear that. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Chitra. And I really congratulate you and your organization, International Chamber for Service Industry, that you are doing such a wonderful job of conducting these webinars and sharing the knowledge with the rest of the world. Really, hats off to you people. And I also am grateful to MEP Sector Skills Council as well as International Chamber for Service Industry for giving me this opportunity to be on this platform. Also sharing this platform with other panelists who are expert in the fields of business studies as well as on deep ability counseling. I'm really fortunate to be here today. And I am Dr. Shipra Sonkusare, working as a professor and unit head in the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology, what the general public knows as women's doctor or ladies doctor or gynac. I teach in a medical college as a professor. At the same time, I'm a clinician. That means I see patients too, I operate, and I do all the clinical work along with my teaching and the research work, which goes hand in hand together. And I've been doing this for more than 25 years now. And I'll be talking about the shift of our skill teaching because our skill teaching in medical profession is not the same as the teaching of skills in rest of the other professions. We deal with lives, which is a difference in teaching as compared to the teaching of other skills. So this our training is little different from rest of the training. We are little different people from rest of the people in the sense, our values are different, our attitudes are different, and we don't come out with our inside teaching and everything out so much in open. So I think I'm very happy to be here so that I can talk about how we are taught as compared to how others are taught their skills. I'm really glad to be here. And I've done my graduation MBBS from Shipra, Pondicherry, which is from the Central Government Apex Institute, one of the Apex Institutes. And I've done my post-graduation in the field of obstetrics and gynecology from PGI Chandigarh, which is another Central Government Apex Institute. And after that, I've been working as a teacher, professor, researcher, and clinician from then onwards. And I've also done my qualifications from the Royal College London, as well as other qualifications like I'm a fellow of the Indian College of Obstetrics and Gynecology, along with member of the National Medical Academy of Medical Sciences, and with other qualifications as well. And I've got trained in other surgeries like cancer surgeries in gynecology and few other trainings, which is not so relevant as of now for this talk. So I'll be talking more of the skills teaching in our profession, in our medical profession. No, we clinicians. Yes, anybody has anything to say?
No, ma'am. I'm just saying, just please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Chitra. So we clinicians are defined by our skill sets, and we have the numerous skills to be actually taught to our medical students. And they are not just limited to the procedural skills or the technical skills, which is a very common thing to see in other professionals or skill teaching. So our skills start from listening. Listening is a skill again. So our skills actually training starts from the learning or teaching a listening skill, which goes on, to cognitive skills, that is intellectual skills, which the student should be able to interpret the lab report, should be able to come to a diagnosis, along with the technical skills like performing a procedure or a surgery, the communication skills, what we need to teach our students, how to break a bad news, in the sense when we have to tell somebody that, somebody is dead or somebody's relative is not going to be doing okay, or they are diagnosed with cancer. How do we break the bad news? So that is also a skill, and we are teaching our students all these skills. And it's not limited to these, just 2-3 of these. We are also teaching them the leadership or the team member, being a team member as well as being a leader. When we are in a situation of emergencies, we need to teach them how to be the leader in that particular situation, so that the rest of the members should follow the instructions, because things have to be really quick in that particular scenario. So we need to teach them all the skills along with the communication skills, as we said, breaking bad news. So this is not just technical skill which we talk about in a medical profession. So it includes various other skills, which makes it a little different from rest of the other professions. And hence, actually, when I was a medical student, it was all about, how we learned 25 years ago, 30 years ago, was we were just shadowed. We have seen our seniors doing certain things and we have learned from them. And that was, we were supposed to do that. We were meant to do that. How they see patients, how do they talk to patients, how they walk. So whatever we do today is what I've learned from, all my teachers. How we walk, how we talk to the patients, how we, look at the reports. Everything is what we have learned after observing them. And that was common those days, because we had good teachers. Definitely we have good teachers even now. And we had a lot of patients, because the medical colleges were not so many, and we were from a government setup where the treatment was free, and everybody, all the patients would come to government setups to get the treatment. And the medical colleges were full of patients to learn from, and we all have learned from patients actually. So we have seen our seniors, how they talk to the patients, how they operate on the patients. So we have seen them, we assisted them in the procedures, in the surgeries, and then later we were able to do it on our own, and then we became independent to do things on our own. So that was the scenario before, till 2019, when we have a national body which takes care of the medical education in whole of the country. So now it's called as National Medical Council, and before it was called as Medical Council of India. So this National Medical Council has completely changed the whole scenario now, and there's a paradigm shift in how we teach our medical students now. So the shift is not what somebody has to teach. That shift is completely towards how the students have to learn, or what they have to learn. So it is more outcome oriented, and it is more student focused rather than the teacher focused. So that is why the skill teaching is so important now, because we call this education as competency based medical education. That means the whole focus is on how competent are our medical graduates. We call them Indian medical graduates, or IMG. So the whole focus is to make them competent by teaching them skills very skillfully. So we teachers have to be teaching them so well that they become competent in whatever they're expected to do. I just want to share a few slides about this, how much work has gone into this shifting of conventional education, medical education into this competency-based medical education. I hope slides
Yes,
are visible. Yes. Okay.
No, your slides are not visible, ma'am. You can easily do share screen.
Yeah, I did that, share screen.
Okay, but they are not.
I just do it again. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Hanji, now it is.
Okay. So we call it now when the curriculum was made. Now to get this curriculum into action for the rest of the whole country in a systematic way, it's not an easy task. So what now? So we also have programs now to implement this curriculum correctly. So we have a lot of programs being conducted. So it's called a Curriculum Implementation Support Program, which is done by the National Medical Council. And this National Medical Council is actually has divided the whole country into different centers. They are the regional centers, and they have the, my slides are not moving. Okay, we have the regional centers, and we have the nodal centers as well. So when we teach our Indian medical graduate or our MBBS student to become a doctor, it is, yes, it's definitely a doctor of the first contact. That means a patient goes to them and they should be able to provide that much care for the patient when they come in, when the physician, patient comes in for the first time to the doctor. They're supposed to have the knowledge. We expect them to have the concerned skills and definitely the attitudes, the professional attitude which the doctor has to carry and the certain values. And at the same time, being responsive or sensitive to the patient's needs. That is all these roles are expected of an Indian medical graduate from our students. So the roles are basically clinician, they're expected to do the clinical work. They are supposed to be a lifelong learner because medicine keeps evolving. Research goes on, and new things keep coming. So they have to be lifelong learner. At the same time, as I said, they have to be the leaders and the team member and good communicator as well as the professional. Now, this change is happening at a multiple level. No, it is at the national level. So this National Medical Council has divided the whole country into the nodal centers, the regional centers. And then there is a medical education unit of the department in every medical college, which has to take care and make sure that this curriculum change is happening in their college. And they have to develop materials to make these reforms. And they also have to motivate the faculty. The whole faculty, all of the country is so much used to the conventional way of teaching that it's very difficult for them to change to a new way of teaching. Everything has changed. The time frame, the skills we are supposed to teach, what environment the skills should be taught to the patient, and what time frame should be used to teach those skills, and how we are going to assess or evaluate those skills in the students. Everything has gone a complete shift. And then we have to even motivate the faculty who have been trained in their own way of teaching the students for this change. So that is going on in all the medical colleges right now in full swing. And we started the whole thing in 2019 August. But then the COVID struck, but still we are going on with it. So each medical college now has a department which actually deals with how to teach medical students. And every medical college now has a curriculum committee. That means that they decide the curriculum. They go on and making changes or whatever is required for that particular batch or for those particular students. And we are also training the faculty in basic and advanced course of medical education. I'm happy to say that I'm one of those faculties who have been trained from the National Medical Council in the basic and advanced course of medical education. Now, our job is basically to teach rest of the faculty of the medical college regarding how to implement this shift in the medical curriculum to the whole to all the students. So this medical education unit, as I said, is there in every medical college, and we have 491 medical colleges in the country, and faculty members from each college have been picked up and have been trained for this course in medical education, new curriculum. And our job is to train the rest of the faculty of the medical college to how to teach or how to conduct this shift of the medical curriculum. As I said, the National Medical Council has academic cell, the nodal centers divided by them, and then it comes to the medical colleges. The whole curriculum, this is how the network is right now is existing. So basically what I want to emphasize is, our training to medical students has gone as complete shift from the conventional way of training, because we want to standardize the way of how the students are the competence of the students when they pass out or when they clear when they are passing out from the medical college. Basically what is happening is people who are from the government setups are exposed to good amount of, I think I'll just stop sharing the screen. Yeah. So people who are actually have got good exposure to large number of patients, especially from the medical colleges or from the government setups, they have very good exposure and they have learned a lot from the patients. But now after that, there's a surge of a lot of medical colleges and private medical colleges where the students are not so exposed to so many patients. So that created a lot of discrepancy between the students who coming from particular sector and the students coming from another sector. And even then, that's why the discrepancy was so much that some of the students were not even capable of doing some procedures, what was expected of them as a medical student or medical doctor. And that is why the National Medical Council has taken a complete shift to focus on the competency rather than have what knowledge they have. So what are the competencies? So every department or every subject, they have to find some competencies which they are supposed to know, which must know. So we have to certify that that particular student is competent enough in that particular skill before they become an Indian medical graduate or they become a doctor. And there are some good to know skills, there are some must know skills. So that is how we are training our students now from 2019 onwards. And because of this discrepancy between the skills in which the students were trained in from few sector or few colleges and the students coming from different sector or different some colleges. So now there's a standardization of the whole medical curriculum throughout the country. And from after a few years, definitely we are going to have better doctors who know whatever they are supposed to know, and they know what they do not know, and whom should they refer the patient to if they do not know certain skills. I think that's all from my side. I just wanted to share that we are shifting from what we had taught before to a completely new curriculum, and it's a welcome change because we want to have good doctors in future too.
Thank you,
Thank you
ma'am.
all.
That is a crisp presentation that you have given, and you have given a complete scenario. One question I want to ask you before I go to Mr. Parag ji. Ma'am, you told that India has 491 medical institutes. So that includes government as well as private, both?
Yes, madam, that includes both. Karnataka has the maximum private medical colleges, and actually, contradictory, the Karnataka is a state with very good healthy population. We don't see sick patients here, especially the southern part of Karnataka. Very good population. Despite that, in my own city, we have more than 6 medical colleges, and the population is so healthy because they are inherently or genetically healthy, along with their diet, and everything is very good. You'll be surprised that in government hospitals here, as what the meal goes to the patients actually has a fish every day. Fish curry is a part of their staple diet. This is the staple diet. And even every government hospital, they get a fish curry. Every patient gets a free fish curry in a government hospital. That means actually they're a very good, healthy state. So despite that, we need more medical colleges in other sectors where the patients are really sick and we really need them there, like Bihar and UP, Rajasthan. But contradictory, we have it here, but not there. Right. We have around 500 colleges in the whole of the country, around 491 to be more precise.
I have a few more questions to ask, but that I'll come a little later at the end after listening to Mr. Parag ji and Dr. Ankur ji. So from here, I'll move to Mr. Parag ji. Sir, very good evening, and we want to hear from you now. Welcome, sir.
Good evening, and thank you, Shipra ji. It's my pleasure to be here. Thanks, IC, SI, and MEPSC. I'm glad to be with the eminent academician. I'm not an academician, so my presentation will be a bit different. So shall I share my screen now, Shipra ji? It's fine.
Yes, sir. Sure. Ji. It is visible.
Yeah, namaste everyone. Namaste, so I'll be talking about what we do and talking about a bit about myself and what are the things which we are doing from a skills perspective. So it's like I started my journey in the IT sector in the year 97, and if somebody knows, it's like it was a mainframe, like Godrej cupboard, right? So the computers were of that size. And so somebody asked that, okay, how you move your career? So it's like from mainframe I moved to desktop, then laptop, and then eventually it's like I transferred to the head top. So when I say head top, what is meant is I moved my career from an IT professional and the corporate career to something in the field of the training, and that's how the deep ability consulting. So my firm was born. And why deep ability? So one of the things which we believed and strongly I feel is there is a lot more deep inside us. Most of the time it's not revealed, or we are not exposed to it, or we don't know how to evolve ourselves. So the purpose of my organization was that to help an individual to discover their inbuilt potential. What we believe is live the life, don't just live it. And that's the mission which we drive to. So what we do is basically it's facilitative trainings, coaching, town hall speaking and training design and development across various sectors. So in the trainings, our focus area is campus to corporates. It's called as CLIPS, leaderships, ideation, innovations, productivity, and the soft skills. So these are the areas which we cover to mainly. And the other thing which I'll be talking about at a later point of time also. So it's accountability coaching. So I call it ACC. It's accountability and completion coaching and midlife coaching. So that's generally for the age the group 40 years and above, between 40 to 80 years. And something which we do interestingly is the coaching of the youth. Uh, so these are some of our corporate clients and across the spectrum I have worked. Now, when it comes to skilling, uh, generally, most of the time we think about it's related to the students, it's related to the people who are fresh graduates, and we need to skill them. So here are some of the examples which I would like to give, like skilling, it irrespective of the age and it requires no education background. Why I would say is on the right, I'm doing a skilling of the uh, people like this. These are the railway employees who who can hardly sign to just do the signatures. Many of them. Now on the left, they are like engineers from multinationals and highly qualified. The skilling requires, so it's required. The skilling is no thing, and this is some of the interesting thing which I love to do a lot, and that's using the Lego series. I'm certified on that. So skilling can be innovative. So we do a lot of innovations here. It can be related to the business. It can be related to the careers. And a lot of things happens in this spectrum. So there is no age barriers. So this is like we are interacting with the children of the Air Force. Yeah, and it can be fun and reflexive. So skilling can should not be boring. That's what I believe in it, and it should have a lot of reflection in it. So if some skill is being imparted or some content is being delivered, like it can be delivered in a fun way. Not every time, but most of the time we have that opportunity. And the the intense learning happens in the reflections stage of the skilling. And the other thing is it's a continuous journey. It should not stop. And irrespective of where you are. So on the right, if you see, it's like I'm in the National Judicial Academy in Bhopal, where all the judges of across the India are there. So each and everyone, even we as a faculty member or as a trainer or as a coach, require the reskilling. And then recently we pandemic, right? All of us have moved to the online, so it doesn't need to be physical. This is our new venture. Now, what's our process? So before getting into any skill assignments or any of the training assignments, it's a simple process which we follow. It's analysis, design and deliver, evaluate outcome and feedback uh, from the sponsors and from the participants both, and finally the refine and action plan. So it's like so what is been delivered. It's always there is a scope of improvement. It's improved, and the more relevant thing is so why client works. It's most of the time customized solutions because there was a time when there was a model on time management or the leadership, and it was like okay, everybody it works for everyone. And it was very interesting to hear Dr. Shipra and she talked about the skills which are being imparted regarding team building and leadership. So what the leadership works in the corporate might not work there. So it requires a different sort of a solutions altogether. So that's what we cater to. And the another thing which we make sure that it's a jargon-free approach because you have to scale a person irrespective of what age group or what educational qualifications are. They don't prefer sessions with a lot of jargons, affordability, and finally it should deliver the results. So if it is time management, for example, what we are talking about, or if it is productivity, there should be a results which machines which should be delivered. Now, for most of the challenges, what we found that okay, the trainings are there, it goes very well, and at the end, what was intended, that's been done, but then it's the consistency is not maintained, or over a period of time, after 2 or 3 days or 2 or 3 months, most of the participants are back to square one. So what the result was expected, that's not happening. The clients category, like we deal with lot many stuff there. Now I would like to say something very interesting, and this was like the number of years it took for each product to get 50 million users. Now, if you look here, right, for airlines it took 68 years. For Twitter, it's just 2 years. So what it means is the world is changing fast, and it's like we are living in a VUCA world. So it's like volatile, right, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. And this was something very another interesting data which I came across. And if you say from 2018 to 2022, uh, there is a shift in the human machine working hours. If you look into it, so many of the tasks, or most of the tasks, the human interactions is happening, is reducing, and the similar tasks, which it can be done by the machines or the computers, whatever you want to call it, it's increasing, and this trend is going to be there. Now, the impact of this is obviously on the human mind. The another interesting uh, data which looks into it is uh, what's the likelihood and the equally likely. And if you see the second question, like look to automate the work, it's much more it's on a very higher side, almost 95. Now, if you look into this, the, both the slides, it talks about the shift of the or the encroachment of the technology or the machines in our life and in every aspects of the life, and its direct impact, it's on our mental well-being, because we as a human being like to interact with the humans, and somehow it has started reducing. And the other thing is we are having an electronic device right in our hand. The another interesting fact which was published in the Harvard Business Review uh, was about how often employees want feedback from the managers. And if you say that the millennials, like they want a monthly feedback or a regular feedback rather than getting the feedback after the end of the. So when I started my career, we used to get the feedback at the end of the year when the appraisal cycle was there. But that's not the case with the current generation. And also, it's not just about the frequency of the feedback, but the quality of the feedback also plays a very critical role, because that's directly deal with the career progression of the young generations. And even whether they will stay in an organization or they will leave the organization, that's also gets impacted. So why we are talking about it is I want to bring uh, something called as the life coaching, the essential element of the life coaching. Now, what's happening is there is a lot of scaling which is happening, and since the introduction of the sector scales, and we do a lot of training, scaling is been happening. The workshops are delivered perfectly fine. Uh, so that's I would say the stage one. But if you want the actual implementation, one of the critical element is the coaching element. It can be in the one-to-one setup, it can be in the group setup, but coaching plays a very critical element, whether it's just the people who are just passed out or who are working professionals, or irrespective of the age group or the qualifications. Now, what is coaching basically? When we talk about the coaching, it's a bit different than the counseling or the consulting, mentoring. It is more about the future oriented, and it's more about the asking rather than the telling. mentoring is I am an expert in a particular area, and I deliver the guidance or I deliver the training on that front. I'm mentoring a particular person. So suppose, for example, I'm an IT professional, I have an expertise in that, and I mentor someone in the IT industry. Now, what has been happening with the coaching is, since it's future oriented, it has a lasting impression, and the uh, achieving the results is much more higher if the coaching has been included. So, and so we did a very interesting workshop with the Tata Sky, so coaching assignment, where I was the master coach, and we used to coach the faculty. So it was a CSR project where uh, the faculties were training the ITI students. So they were giving the technical skills to them, but apart from this, there was a requirement like, okay, the students who are coming, they are getting the technical skills, but somehow uh, there is not much change in their behavior. So one of the ways, okay, we teach them the soft skills. So that was the part of it. But soft skills, again, it's not there. It's fine. It's bit of a temporary to a certain extent. So what was being found is the faculty you are teaching them, they will be coaching one to one each student, maybe for 3 to 4 sessions. And the project which we did was we used to coach the coaches, the faculty members, and then they in turn used to do the coaching, and the results was phenomenal. There were certain life-changing things which happened in the areas of the students. So what I want to say is the coaching should go hand in hand with our technical training and the soft skill trainings if we want to have certain great results. So towards the end, I would just like to share some data, some statistics with respect to the coaching. Right. So it says it gives 221% ROI. 51% companies report the growth. It uh, because of the coaching. They, there is an 80% coaches reported that their self confidence level was much more higher post the coaching. They went to the coaching. It improved 70% of the coaches improved performance, relationships, and even the entrepreneurs are seeing the shifts in the coaching. It helps in increasing the career opportunities because then they are able to make a very conscious decision and very informed decisions. Many of the times, we skill the person and we skill the students, but then they are very much confused about what career to go about it, how to go about it, and there might be certain uh, cobwebs in their mind which they are not able to express to anyone. So the coaching helps in that direction. Uh, Even it helps in reducing the procrastination, as you can see here. And this is another very interesting data, right? It's like it helps in the relationships, even the communication and interpersonal skills. It helps a lot, helping in the work-life balance. So currently, I was coaching very senior executives from the MNCs, right? And one of the major issues with them was the work-life balance. So at the end of the session, so a few sessions, at least there was some progress. So why coaching? This was a very interesting quote by Eric Schmidt. He's the ex-CEO of Google. And so people are not good at seeing themselves as others see them. A coach really helps them. So it provides a different perspective, right? Even if I'm well informed, right? But if there is a coach, it gives me a different perspective to look at the same thing, and there is a possibility that I can get an aha moment, and maybe if I'm stuck at somewhere, or if I'm successful, I can be more successful in that particular area. So I would just like to end with a question and to think about it. Like, can coaching be an integral part of the skill development, or even um, can be a part of or regular studies in the schools and colleges also? So I would like to end my brief talk on this front, and thanks a lot. And
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much for this presentation and giving us an insight about what you do, your organization and coaching and learning and skills development. I'll come to you. There are a few questions that has been asked. I'll put that in front of you. But before that, I'll go to Dr. Ankur Amin ji, and I will request him to please unmute his mic. And we welcome you, sir, and we want to listen now from you. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Chitra. First of all, a very warm evening to Ms. Chitra and the fellow experts, panelists, and the listeners on the YouTube channel. So I give my gratitude to MEPSC and ICSI for giving me this opportunity to share the platform with the renowned experts on their area through ICSI. Once again, I congratulate ICSI for this 1560th webinar, and which made the education relevant by establishing and by simply organizing such webinars and creating a common platform for the learners and the trainers at one go, and where you find the exchange of ideas, exchange of information, and the exchange of the kind of knowledge which they are imparting through this webinar. So once again, I must congratulate and thank you for providing me the opportunity to share my views on my training expertise or skills which I'm imparting to my students and the various other people. Let me briefly introduce myself. Myself, Ankur Amin. I'm currently working as an assistant professor at Department of Business Studies, Sardar Patel University. A place is Vallabh Vidyanagar, and famously it is in Anand, where Amul Dairy is located, which everybody knows, and the brand is very much famous all over India as well as in the world. So I belong to the Anand, where I'm working at Sardar Patel University. I've been teaching these strategic management, research methodology, career planning at Department of Business Studies to the MCOM students. Currently, 3 students are working under me as a research scholar. 4 students already completed their PhD under my guidance. So I've been teaching, having research experience from 17 years. And from last 5 years, I've been in the as a role of the trainer for various organization in terms of various educational organization, wherein I'm imparting various kind of the training through workshops and various webinars through which I'm sharing my knowledge in the area of research, personality development, and leadership, as well as digital marketing would be the area of my the training to be imparted with. Today on this occasion, I want to share one of my recent the training exposure which I have given to the participants of the central zone of Gujarat. I got the invitation from the Commissioner Office of Youth Services and Cultural Department, Government of Gujarat, Gandhinagar, where my proposal has been accepted, where they have asked for preparing the youth leadership program. So we as a team has prepared the 6th module for youth leadership program, and which is given to the central zone of Gujarat as a pilot project, because thereon it will be covered the entire Gujarat, because at that time the pandemic spread was very prominent and we could not go offline to all the participants all over the Gujarat. So as a pilot project, the government has given the opportunity to go for the central zone of Gujarat, and that too they have asked for the selection of 100 students. So I have conducted the entrance examination of the central zone of Gujarat, which covers the 9 districts: Anand, Kheda, Chota Udeipur, Vadodara, then Mahisagar, Panchmahal, Dahod. Okay, that covers the 9 districts, and out of which the 7 districts are having the tribal population. They are known as the tribal district. wherein I conducted through with the help of the Google form the entrance examination, that is purely based on a common general knowledge, where they have scored. I have asked 30 questions out of which they need to answer, and I got majority have received means I received 30 students who scored 30 out of 30 and 29 students who scored 29 out of 30, and I have selected 100 students from the central zone of Gujarat, which covers all the 9 districts. And already I've told that it was majorly the kind of tribal population where the language would be a barrier for them. So the entire youth leadership program is divided into 6 modules. So again, these modules with that we have covered or we have added the yoga training program. So in the morning, all the 100 participants were given the yoga training by the yoga experts. And every day, one module is imparted, or one module is given to the students. So there are 6 modules: personality development, second is communication skills, third is uh, leadership, fourth is goal setting, fifth is emotional intelligence, and the sixth is life skills. So we have covered the all the areas of personality development, or for grooming the students, or which have the age between 17 to 29, the age group, where the kind of holistic approach can be covered for creating and making the a good citizen of India, which can contribute something to the society, wherein we have designed that module, which was approved by the government of Gujarat, and then training was started. So in the morning, 1.5 hours yoga training. So various modules of yoga will be given to the all the 100 participants, and thereon from 11 to 12:30 or 11 to 1 o'clock, 2 hours, 1:30 to 2 hours. Each module has been given by the experts, and it was decided that the audience was coming from the rural and the tribal districts, and that is why all the experts have decided to deliver talk on the Gujarati language. That is their mother tongue. One can say that. So majority of the things will be delivered in Gujarati, or else PPT presentation is in English, then the delivery would be in a simple Gujarati language, so that they can understand whatever things are there in the module. So here, in case of our training program, language should not be the barrier. So I tell all the trainers that language never should be a barrier for a trainer and for the trainee, because through the language barrier, I think it may not have the connection with the audiences, right, or the trainee. So we must remove that barrier by having number of exercise, by having number of, but the language should not be the barrier for imparting the training, because that may create a connection that the experts are also from us, and all the experts have converted the entire thing in a very simpler manner, and at their level or up to their level, I think it was kind of lower down the kind of things, and made them understood the entire things. So if you allow, Ms. Chitra, I want to share a few things about that the training program.
Yes, sir. Sure. Please.
Oh, my slide is visible?
Yes, sir, it is.
Yeah. So this is what the entire training program, youth leadership and yoga training program. So for that, the government have given us 2,000 rupees per student for the entire program. So that's what I received, 2 lakh rupees for the entire program from the government of Gujarat, Department of the Youth Services and Cultural Services Department, and plus the 18% GST also, which is given by them, and 1,000 for the certificate. So it's a 2,37,000 consultancy given to me for the entire program to be conducted very smoothly. These are the objectives for which the entire training program is covered. So we want to develop the competent personality among the youth of Gujarat, which covers the personality development. Then we want to inculcate the qualities of leader among the youth of Gujarat. Then to develop an effective communication skills to compete globally, because communication skills, when you see any years of top 5 skills or top 10 skills every year, when you see the global database, the communication skill would be the top 5 skills among the global skills required to become a competent person, or to have the competent personality. So communication skill would be one of the module from our side. So we want to develop an effective communication skills so that they can compete globally, to help participant to gain life skills and attitude for overall personal development. And we have added emotional intelligence, because nowadays the IQ is not enough. The emotional intelligence also makes your personality effective, and to make you more effective leader, you need to learn the emotional intelligence. So that's what also we have added. And these are the 6 modules with various types of yoga. It was written in Gujarati, the yoga schedule. What is yoga and the importance of yoga? That is the first day things which is covered under the yoga training. The first module of my program was the Know Yourself, which covers the various aspects of personality, how one can develop the personality. Next day under the yoga, that is what the various the Sukshma Vyayam, or under the yoga, then the quality of communication is equal to the quality of life. That means focuses on the communication skills, various asana and pranayam. Then the third module was leadership. Very interesting in yoga, that is what yoga dance was given by our the yoga experts, and the standing various yogasan while you're standing. Then goal setting would be one of the module, how one can set a goal based on the acronym of SMART, which was given to the audiences. Then depending on your disease, what kind of the asanas and pranayam to be every day to be done, so that the disease can be cured. The fifth module was the power of mind, that which covers the emotional intelligence. And the next module was the life skills, which is what an art and skills. And this is what in every session we were taking the feedback from all the trainees, and this is what the overall feedback I want to share. That it was the 98% we received, that it turns into excellent and good, and continuously we were in the contact with all those 100 participants, and they are sharing their progresses with all the different experts, that I have achieved this, I have achieved that, I have set my goal accordingly. So they were continuously in contact with all the experts for their development, for their goal settings, for their development, for their guidance, kind of mentorship. We were in contact with all the 100 participants. It's just like a repo which everyone must have created, just because everyone has used a language of their mother tongue, and create that connect with all the trainees, so that they are still in our contact, and they're sharing their progresses with us, and that made us proud that something we have imparted, which can be touched and which can be groomed their personality, which can create some genes of leadership amongst them, and they become more towards their goal achievement, and they can achieve their objectives on time. That is what our objective can be fulfilled by having a constant and continuous feedback, or kind of messages, and kind of the things from them. Okay, so this is what my presentation. Now let me stop. So this is what the recent experience of mine with all the students which are not we can say that in the mainframe, that which can they are in the tribal areas, but they are keen to develop themselves, that keenness, that eagerness, that passion, I think we could see in them, and that makes us more enthusiastic towards imparting training to them, because whenever we go for training, whenever we go for delivering of the things, and when we see the same enthusiasm from our students, from our trainees, then it simply doubles our enthusiasm, it doubles our encouragement towards imparting things, and that immediately connects the things with those trainings, and whatever we are imparting will be touched upon them, and it 100%, I think we can fulfill our objective. So for creating connect, I think the communication skill would be very important, and that too with the language would be somewhat very important, because being a trainer and being a coach or being a mentor, I think we know there are a number of different exercises, there are a number of different tips we are using to break that shackles, to break that ice, so that we can create connect. But the language should be one of the ice breaking or icebreakers, so that we can create connect, because it was online. The entire things was delivered and done in the online, and when we see their home, the home from which they were having the training program, uh, हम बोल सकते हैं कि वो जो छोटे घर रहते हैं, just like not concrete houses they have, and with that all limitation, they were eager to get the connectivity, and having connected with all the experts, and they have given their 100%, because I have created the Google Classroom, wherein they are sending their questions, they're giving their views, they're giving their feedbacks, and also they are asking for more things, what more we can do in this for imparting. It was 1.5 hours or 2 hours training program, but uh, because of their enthusiasm, because of their encouragement, I think we could share a lot things to them, to make them more competent in this global world. So I'm delivering many training program, many workshops on research methodology and personality and leadership, and this is one of my uh, touched one, or this is one of my closed one, I can say, that the training program which I have covered. So with me there are another 5 experts who imparted the various modules. I covered leadership module in that training program, and remaining modules were taken by various experts of their area and delivered talk. And all the experts used uh, their language in terms of the Gujarati, so that which can be imparted at a fullest and in a holistic view to the all the trainees. So that's it from my side. So I thank ICSI for giving me the opportunity to share my experience, and I hope I made my things clear, and hopefully that will give something to the audience and something to the viewers who I think who watch this training program. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. We actually thank you that you have shared with us your youth leadership program. A few questions I have to ask from all the panelists, distinguished panelists, guest speaker that we have. To begin with, I'll begin with Dr. Ankur Amin, sir himself. So first of all, I would like to ask that this kind of an effort is very appreciative. And one thing that being in the rural area, being in the tribal areas, even then they have a good network to join the online program. That is very remarkable, because during the pandemic, we have seen the major drawback that students are facing is having the internet connectivity, specifically in the rural areas and the remote areas. So that is one thing very good. I want to ask very first question that the students, though the trainees which are under your program in this youth leadership, what educational background, what different educational background they were from?
They're basically the graduates. There are few who are having the second year or third year BA, BCom. There are few, I think, who have already graduated. There are few already associated with the department of the sports. That means there were few yoga teachers or yoga experts who are imparted already some training program, and
Okay.
they are associated with the office of district sports of those districts. So they were one of the participants of my program, as well as there are few participants who are already they're doing their undergraduate courses. Uh, but in terms of connectivity would be the problem. That is why we told everyone not to, I think, switch on the cameras whenever it is needed. I think they turn on the cameras, and then whenever it is needed, and they've asked to use the district offices network, because there are certain villages where connectivity was not there. So every district officer, that means sports officer, who are in charge of this program,
Ji.
to send these participants, so it was given to them. So they have given the facility of the connectivity to all those students who are not having the connectivity, who are not having the connectivity. So they go to the capital place of the district, and those officers have provided them the connectivity, and from their end they have joined, so that they can have the crux of this training program, and they can join our training program. So there
Ji.
was issue of connectivity at their end, because they are from the tribal area, far
Ji.
from the rural area. So
Ji.
this way we have sorted out the connectivity issues in this program.
Right, right, sir. Another question I would like to take is like you are an assistant professor, so you are into teaching, and at the
Yes.
same time, you are a researcher also. You have done your PhD, and you are also a guide to many of the research scholars. So, sir, having an experience of research, how it helps in recreating the learning environment for student, or some creativity or innovation in your teaching than the regular teachers? What do
Because
you think?
because what happened, when we go for the research, means it is what we go for researching the things which is existing there.
Mhm.
So when we go for research, means whatever existing knowledge we have, in which we are altering, we are modifying something, and the same thing which we have done in terms of that particular research study, which can be shared among the students as a part of their curriculum. Now, for
Right.
example, one of the study we have conducted, that is what the consumption patterns of students of SP of my university. So which was with the help of the students, I have guided them, and I was teaching them the research methodology. So
Mhm.
the entire research study, from the introduction part, from the literature review part, from the research methodology part, from the data collection, from the sample size, the one example I was discussing with the same students, and with the life experience, or the live experience of that particular research study can be used in my teaching, and they can understand, oh, we have done this, that this way we have collected sample, this is what the simple random sampling, so how one can conduct this study, what are the variables, what are dependent variable, what are the independent variable. So that way this research will be helpful, because it is what the experiential learning we can create, and which will be shared among the students, so they can have the real time experience, or the live experience of this thing. So this way one can conduct the research, or this
Mhm.
way it will be helpful of the various curriculum aspect to be covered under the research.
Right.
And many a time the whatever new thing I'm conducting in my research will be shared among the students as a part of my curriculum, so I need to create the relevance with my curriculum, and that is my duty to create that relevance of my research study to the curriculum which I am deliver in the classroom.
Right, sir. And I think that education is more practical than being theoretical, like the.
Always, because when we you research our findings of the research, because it is what the practical things which we have covered under the research, with the help of the data collection and by using the statistical analysis, and we derive some findings. That's what the hypothesis which we have tested. So we come to know about that it is what the tested hypothesis, and on that basis we can generalize something, and on that basis we deliver things to the classroom about that
Right,
particular things.
right, right. Thank you so much, sir.
Pleasure.
These are the questions that I would like to ask from you. Now I'm be moving towards Mr. Parag ji. Sir, your experience, and your presentation is so much detailed that whatever question is coming, you have already given an answer to everything. That is a very detailed description. So thank you for that. But still, I would like to ask few questions from you. The very one thing is that we have seen in your presentation that the people, those who are getting training, they are from various age groups, like the young and the senior ones as well. So I want to ask you that while you are giving the training, what difference you feel when you are providing training to the younger generation and to the experienced person or the elderly person? Your views on to that, sir.
Okay. So I would say rather than the difference, the common thing is like all of them wants to share something.
Right.
Even if it is a student, so I deal with the teenagers and the students, they are of 11, 12 years old. They want to share something. And most of the time, what happens in the training, we want to impart or we want to teach them a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
So rather than that, because for the adults, like they have a lot of experience and it's like they want to share, nobody's there to hear them. So they get an opportunity in the training sessions. Yeah. The other thing is when we are doing experiential workshops, so like something which is related to the outdoor or certain activities, then the edge factors also we need to keep it in mind. Because the activity might be, and Dr. Ankur can relate to the activity might be very, very, it's very nice, very well designed, but if the physical agility is not there, then that creates a bit of an issue. It like it bounces back.
Ji. Also want to ask, sir, that what is the time duration of your training? Like it is for 1 day or for a week or 2 days, or what generally it is?
Okay, so it's generally it depends upon the client. So what I have done is it's like from 1.5 hours to 5 to 7 days. So we did for SME. That is a PPDC thing. It was a stress management thing. It was 5 days workshops which we conducted at a stage.
Okay.
Others are like, so duration varies depending on the client and the requirements.
Okay. So there are another 2 questions that I want to merge into one question. What I want to ask you is, okay, you give trainings. So what, as a trainer, you like most in imparting a training? What is the one thing that is most liked by you? That's why you become a trainer and leaving your IT business. And that's how things are.
Okay, so
these are the 2 questions. One has asked that why you left your IT business and come into the training part. Another one has asked this. So I've merged both the questions for you.
So why I like IT? It's a story in itself.
Ji.
Going to that thing. Okay, training. The only thing which I like most, or the one thing which I like most, is at the end of the session, right? When a participants comes and says that okay, you made my day, or I got a certain insight,
Right.
and there is a smile on that person's face.
Right.
So yesterday I was in a training, and at the end, like 2 participants came in. So these were young professionals, young chartered accountants, right? And they came and they told that okay, they received certain insights in which they want to implement it. Nothing like it. It's more rewarding than anything else.
So it's a feeling of fulfillment that gives you.
Yeah, a bit of a change. So we are not Mahatmas to change the life, but at least it's like we are touching a dot in somebody's life, and that's so.
Ji. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Now I'll move to Dr. Shipra ji. Ma'am, your work is remarkable, what you are doing, and the kind of a training and the teaching you are providing to the students of medical field. The very first question I would like to ask you is that the training that you have got when you were studying the medical studies and the training that has been imparted today, what is the difference in that, and particularly in concern with the technology, because today is the era of technology and it has impacted every sector of the society. So medical studies have also impacted with the technology. So what difference you find when you were studying and now when you are imparting the education and today's youth?
When I was studying, it was more of observing people and studying and learning rather. So we have learned from our seniors, as I said, right from how we started assisting them in surgeries and then became surgeons and all. But now we have such good skills lab, or we give skills training in something called a skills lab, which we have in all the medical colleges. And the simulators are so good. They are actually human simulators, and we can actually simulate every system of the body almost in a simulator. And we can impart training, skill training, because we have dearth of patients in those colleges. So they can have simulators with even artificial intelligence. You can actually have a scenario of seizures or fits in some patient, and then how to manage those fits in that patient. Or somebody who has got a heart attack, we can create that scenario in a simulator, human simulator, in a skills lab, and that how to manage that heart patient or somebody with a heart attack, and how to control that, how to take care of the patient. Everything is very advanced now because of digital, because of technology, and because of artificial intelligence. So that is a big change. And because the number of patients have come down, so that has been taken care of is being taken care of by the simulators, human simulators. And even patients are much more aware, and they don't like to be asked too many questions and too many private questions, and they don't like to be examined or touched by the students. So which was there in our generation or our times. But now, because the patients might say no to students when they want to learn from them, they want to take history from them. So then we have the skills lab or simulators who can do the job of the patients as quite close to the real patients. So that has really come a big way.
Gee. And same is happening with the faculty development also when it comes to faculty development and technology. So same simulation and other things, because first the faculty learns and then they will impart the same to the students.
Yes, initially when we were students, faculty development was not a part of teaching or training the faculty, because they almost knew everything. So because we learned from them. But now the focus is also on faculty, keeps on upgrading themselves, keeps on learning. At the same time, we are teaching them how to teach a new curriculum. So now faculty also is much more receptive to learning, rather than being so rigid about the old curriculum or we know it all types kind of attitude. So definitely faculty development programs are going on. And I hope more and more faculty actually come ahead and use this faculty development programs, rather than being so rigid that, and learn the new way of new generation, how to teach a new generation, which are not like our generations.
Even telemedicine is also part of training process?
No, madam. Telemedicine so far was not allowed till the era of COVID, because we have to see the patient to give a medication to the patient. History taking questioning can be done on telephone, but examining a patient requires listening to the heartbeat and palpating or feeling the abdomen or feeling the tummy of the patient to see what is there anything wrong in the tummy. So telemedicine was not taking care of this, but when the COVID came, so we had to resort to some way of taking care of patients who require care. So that is a time when our medical council allowed telemedicine. Before that, it was not a part of standard practice, and it was not even allowed. And it was a medical legal issue if telemedicine was practiced, and we treated patients based on telemedicine. But now that thing is taken care of because of the COVID.
So, ma'am, one more question, that as you are the trainer of MEPSC, so this training, this certification that you have got as a trainer certificate, how much it is useful in your field, and are there small certification programs or training programs for students in the field of medical field also, to where you can train them, or it is helping you in your regular studies that you are conducting in the medical colleges?
Yeah, I'm really thankful. Actually, I wanted to mention that I've got the training from MEPSC, and I'm really fortunate to be now they've certified as level 5 trainer, and I've come out with A+ category. And now that it's definitely a good certification was good, because we are now certified trainers and we can impart skills to the students. And we do have training programs for students as well, because they have to be well versed with how to, like cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Like if they see a somebody, any stranger walking on the road and collapsing on the road. So we train our students to what exactly to do to try to get them back to life. So we have the advanced life support and the basic life support training, which has to be given to all the students. We do have training courses, but my training with you people was totally, really, I really appreciate, and I really learned a lot, and I'm really thankful to MEPSC for that.
Ma'am, one question, I don't know whether I should ask you or not, but since a doctor is in front of me, I want to ask this. Many times it is said that the allopathic treatment is all about suppressing the disease and not killing it from the root. So do you believe that? Is this a real picture, or this is just a myth that has been carried by a lot of people?
No, madam, it is definitely a myth carried by a lot of people, because our science actually looks into what is the reason for all those symptoms which you're having. If you have a fever, I'm not going to give you paracetamol, which you already know you can take, but I have to find out why there is a fever. Is there infection cause of a fever, or what is the cause? I have to investigate and find out cause of fever. It is definitely a myth that allopathic medicine deals only with symptomatic treatment. That's why we have investigations and MRI and CT scans to know why do you have a headache. If somebody has a headache, it is not that maybe once in a while everybody has a tension headache, but then if it keeps on recurring, somebody has a migraine or somebody has a brain tumor, we have to investigate. So we are looking for the cause of that headache or cause of fever, and not just giving medicines for fever or headache.
Right. Thank you, ma'am. And with this, I thank all my respected guest speakers. Before closing this webinar, one last question, a common question for all three of you. I request you please answer according to your own wish. The common question is that because all of you are trainers and you are dealing with youth particularly. So see, today's scenario, what do you think? What is your opinion? What is lacking in today's youth? And is there something that there is a mismatch between what the youth is expecting and what we are providing? So where is this mismatch, and what is the mismatch, and what basically today's youth need to focus and where they are lacking? Your own views. Any one of you can initiate to answer that.
Yeah, may I?
Yes, sir, please.
Actually, I may be wrong in that scenario, because the students of that, whatever number of students I am dealing with, or on a daily basis in the classroom, or because there are many things. I think I found that the way I found myself in terms of I'm looking for more upgradation of myself in terms of what is going on in my area in terms of whatever subjects I'm dealing with. So my hunger, my passion about in terms of enthusiasm about looking for the upgradation, I think, which may not be there in case of my students, or I'm going for my students. I don't know about the other categories of the students, but that is what the way I upgrade myself, the way I upgrade or update myself. So that upgradation I could not find in the students, as well as the hunger which I have for learning new things, okay, which may not be there in the students. So I maybe our fault from our side that we could not create that hunger to the students, but that the way the level of enthusiasm I have, okay, the same enthusiasm students are not having for every teacher or for not everything. Okay, that's what I found, that even many a time the clarity of the goal, maybe it may be the life goals or the career goals, it is also may not be there. Remember, many a time I think we are train them, we are telling them this would be your goal. Still you are in these the final year of your post graduation, and still you are not clear about your goal. So that's what the clarity of goal and the level of enthusiasm about the upgradation and the updation of the knowledge, that is what I see is somewhat lacking in the students nowadays.
Right. Thank you for your views, sir. Yes, Mr. Parag, sir, if I can ask from you. Ji.
Okay. So first of all, I think so. Today's youth are much more smarter and knowledgeable than what we were at that age.
Ji.
Now, one of the things which I strongly agree with Dr. Ankur, and that's related to the goal clarity. So I deal with the different spectrum, not particular category, but different spectrum of students across different areas, and that's one of the things. Like they are in their final semester, and they are still not sure what career they want to pursue. Many and I've seen another opposite end also. Like some are very much clear from the even the 11th to 12th standard. They know exactly what I want to do. But that's a very few percentage about it. So coming back to my presentation about the coaching, I think so every parent and the faculty or the teacher which comes across, right, they can be a coach to the students in terms of giving at least giving them that career clarity, because at their age, and one of the reasons which I find is at our time it was like so many percentage you go for science, then there is a commerce, and then there is an arts, and the whole spectrum. Now there are so many options available and so many
Yes.
categories within that, and the access of information is so easily available. So instead of uh, going to the clarity, it creates a lot of confusion in the students' mind. So I see it's not their fault, but it's an environment which is available.
Right. Thank you, sir.
Really needs to be done on that front.
Ji. Thank you for sharing your view. Yes, Dr. Shipra, ma'am, want to hear from you?
As far as my field is concerned, come on, there's a drastic change in the students now. What I see now and what students were before. The students now are much more pampered, and medical education. No, MBBS is very hard work. MBBS internship and postgraduate is really hard work. We have actually not eaten for 2 continuous days. Things have actually, it's true, still true. And stand for hours and hours to run around for ICU for this, and we have not taken bath, not brushed our teeth. That was a routine scenario. But now the students cannot stand for 1 hour also. They want to sit down, and the hard work is completely lacking. And they don't have that passion for whatever they want to do. That's why they don't work hard for that. And I think, and as already said, that information is so easily available. They don't have to remember anything about the patient. The moment you have the diagnosis, they can just open their phone and look into, what is to be done for the patient and what investigations and what everything. So that passion, hard work is really lacking. And I think that's a major thing. And they want to take offs after a few hours, and they cannot work hard because then they want to faint, and they will faint, and they have not eaten for days. They complain and all that. So in my field, hard work is completely a complete put off for us too. That they don't want to work hard and they want to take a lot of rest, and I think people have learned to balance life. Maybe that was their scenario before, because we had only one passion and one goal to look at. But now people want to travel also. People want to balance medicine with traveling also, living their own lives also, vacation also, and everything together. So initially, most of my teachers were actually spinsters and not married, because they could focus on medicine only when they were single or they were not having children. But now everybody wants to do everything in life. So that's why that passion for a particular field has gone down. And because they want to achieve, they don't want to achieve anything. They just want to live their life to the fullest and enjoy their life to the fullest. So now medicine also has become a part of their life rather than in their whole life. Right. That was change, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So a proper direction need to be given to the youth. And with this, I want to say to my educators, those who are watching, the trainers, please, and the parents as well, as Mr. Parag sir has told us, parents are equal responsible for giving the proper direction to their younger ones. And I hope that with this discussion of today, we have felt the need of giving a right direction, a passion in our youth, because they are our future, they are our present, and we need to empower them with all good skills and good value system. So with this, I would like to thank all my guest speaker. ICSI is very thankful, along with MEPSC, that you have come today. You have given your time to us and you have shared your views. Much valuable. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And good night.